There we go. All right, we're live. Let's get the link out. Share the link too.
Share it, tweet it,
Fuck.
retweet it.
Why is it not letting me use the link? All right, let's get this tweeted out.
We got 4 viewers in here.
I mean, it's fucking crazy.
Okay. What's up, guys?
To
do this the exact same way we did last time. There we go. All right, we're live. Let's get the link out. What was that? Okay. All right, we good?
I think so. I don't know what's going on with the YouTube, but it's not loading.
YouTube should be loading. It works, so it's working.
All right, we're good on YouTube.
All right,
There
cool.
we go. All right, we're live. Let's get the link out. All right, we're good. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to run through this the same as we did last time. Game by game spreads, over-unders, who we like, and with a little lineup construction. Questions that you gave us on Twitter, so we will get to those at a break in the show. Let me pull the chat up here quick, and then we can be good to go. Nova, you have the list of games?
I do. I have them ready to rock and roll.
All right, let's do it. So what's the first game we got on tap today?
The first game we have today will be Tennessee versus Houston. Tennessee is favorited by 1.5 points.
Tennessee, Houston. Clutch, what do you think?
Okay, so Tennessee, Houston. I'll start on the Houston side of the ball. I think Deshaun Watson is going to be very chalky today. I think he's going to be one of the top 3 quarterbacks owned. I'm personally on an all-in fade on Deshaun Watson. I think his price is just too high. I think he's too volatile. I think he's just too young to be put in this spot, to be put in a cash lineup. Watson's a guy that you're going to want to play in GPPs on weeks when he's going to be lower owned. Because, yes, he does have that tremendous upside, but to sit here and tell me that you're going to pay $7,300 for him in your cash game lineups, that just doesn't sound right to me. So Watson's a fade for me. I'll pass it on to you guys, and we'll go along with this game. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts on Watson because I think he is the chalk for this game.
I don't hate Watson, but 7,300 is too much, especially when you consider some of the other options around that price point, even lower. We'll get to someone we're all playing cash later is cheaper. Everyone's making a big deal of Will Fuller being back from his collarbone injury, and that's a big reason to bump up Watson. They're saying I don't agree with that. I don't think Fuller's going to play a full volume of snaps. I don't think he is going to be at 100% and year, but he also had an unbelievable amount of drops. Like, he is not a reliable wide receiver, and I think people are overestimating the impact he's going to have. That Houston offense is still just a mess to me. And Tennessee's defense is also – people think it's trash. Their pass rush and run defense is one of the best in the league.
Mm-hmm. They're going to collapse
a little suspect. I don't see the Watson play here.
Yeah, I agree. I don't really like Watson. For GPPs, I like DeAndre just because if Watson throws it 30 times, DeAndre Hopkins getting like 40% of their targets right now. Even with Fuller, drop it 5%, maybe 10%, that's still 30%. Yeah. He's getting 10, 12 targets today. So I do like Hopkins in this game. And, I mean, he can be used in cash just because he's going to get the targets, but there's other options that are available around that price that I like more.
Yeah, I love Hopkins today. I think that you can get your Watson exposure with Hopkins just because so many of the targets are going to go to him. I also think that Watson has built up quite a rapport with Ryan Griffin, their tight end. He's minimum price on FanDuel. And due to kind of just roster construction this week and some of these higher wide receivers that we're going to want to pay up for, I think Ryan Griffin's a good spot in all formats. I don't think any tight end really stands out heavily on this main slate. Obviously, Kelsey's not on this main slate. So we're looking at a limited tight end. So I think Ryan Griffin can be definitely looked at. Just kind of moving over to the other side of the ball, I think Rashard Matthews is worth a look, but Houston's still a defense that I'm not looking to pick on too much. I do think that they are underrated. I think that they are going to show us what they're made of, but I do think that Rashard Matthews is worth a look in GPPs. I just probably won't have any exposure. So for me, I guess in this game is I will have some DeAndre Hopkins exposure and I will have a lot of Ryan Griffin exposure just because of construction.
Yeah, I agree. Matthews in GPP, 25% of the targets. Corey Davis out. Yeah, so he's GPP if anything. But yeah, that's about all I have for this game.
Yeah, I don't really have much. Usually, this is 1 week where Tennessee's offense is really not that appealing to me. So, and Ryan suck up too. If you were looking at kickers on FanDuel, he's already 10 of 11 on field goals, and he's kicked last 2 weeks. I think he's a great play. 4,600 at the kicker position. But other than that, there's really not anyone I like.
I agree. I guess we can go to the next game. I have, we were just talking about this. Cincinnati only favored by 3.5 over the Browns. There's a lot to like in this game.
I'm gonna let Clutch kick this one off with his bet sheet a little bit.
Yeah, I think that Bengals -3 is one of the best bets of the day. Actually, it's the best bet of the day. Just mark it down. I'm pretty much all in on Bengals -3. I've got some sprinkle into the Bengals money line as well. It's a little juiced, but I just don't see how the Bengals lose this game. I see that we're going to have Burfict back. I think that Kaiser's going to see a lot of pressure, and I don't think he knows how to deal with it. I see Bengals defense getting 5 or more sacks. I think that they're a fantastic play, if not the best play on FanDuel. So that's definitely my favorite play from this game is the Bengals defense. I'll let you guys kind of go on A.J. Green and your thoughts on him, but I will say that Mixon at 5,600 is definitely going to be a little chalky, but he's a great play as well. The new offensive coordinator has made it very known that he's going to be the future back. I do worry that Hill and Gio will vulture a little bit, and Hill might get some of those red zone carries. But I think Mixon for the price is it's a steal. So if you need that salary to pay up at your other positions, then Mixon is also a great play. But I'll let you guys talk about AJ Green because I think you guys are on him a little bit higher than I am.
Yeah, I love AJ Green. I think their new offensive coordinator last week kind of realized what he has. And it's kind of obvious AJ Green is the best weapon. He's a top 5 receiver in the NFL. He has destroyed Cleveland over his career, and that was with Joe Hayden. I think AJ Green's a lock for 12, 14 targets, a touchdown. And 8K is a little underpriced, which is the main reason I'm looking at him is because of his salary. I think you can justify him over Antonio. I honestly like him more than Antonio Brown this week, and he's the highest. So I love AJ Green in cash.
Yeah, I agree. He'll get the targets for the price. Next week he's gonna be over 8,500. He's gonna just keep rising, and you're getting. Browns. They play each other every year, and AJ Green every year plays well against them. So. And they're trying to, involve him more. So it's always a good play to have him in, especially at this price and especially at the ownership that he's probably going to warrant today. You're not going to want to really miss him. If he does go off and you don't have him in your lineups, that's not that good of a thing.
Yeah, agreed.
And then Joe Mixon, just because of the price for 5,600. It is kind of sketchy. We still don't know how much of a workhorse he's going to be, Jesus. But, even if he gets 15 to 18 carries in this game, he should still hopefully get a touchdown and get the yards, to make up for his price. It's not that much, and it allows you to pay up for, all your wide receivers, really. So he's in a good spot.
Yeah, I like that. So I'm trying Cleveland side of the ball. I assume you guys aren't really on anybody.
Johnny made a good point in the chat. I think Browns defense, you'll get them lower owned. They're a little bit cheaper. I guess you could go that route. I could see this game being really nitty-gritty and just ugly in general.
Okay.
So I think you could go that route if you want to. I'll probably just go Bengals D.
GPP, if you're
Bengals
not
D.
and don't play any of the Bengals offensive players, that would be, if they don't do anything and you have the Browns D who gets, pick six and shuts them down, you're already up ahead of the people who have played Mixon and Green. So that could definitely work.
So I guess final thoughts from this game is Mixon's pretty much good in all formats. You guys are very high on AJ Green and Bengals defense in all formats as well.
Yeah, I like that. All right, so Nova, what's the next game we got?
Next game we got Minnesota at home, favored by 2.5 over Detroit.
This is a fun game this week.
What you think, Joe?
Fun game. I think I might be higher on the Minnesota offense than a lot of people will be. I think Dalvin Cook is a top 5 running back this week. Personally, I'm not playing him in cash just because of the salary. I'd rather pay, at that point, I'd rather pay up for one and pay down for Mixon. I do want to stress wide receivers this week, but I love Dalvin Cook in all formats. I actually love Case Keenum in a tournament. Pair him with someone like Stephon Diggs, who everyone is going to be off this week because of Darius Slay. But I know we were talking earlier, and Nova said all Stephon Diggs needs is one break for 70 yards, and his points are right there. Shown great rapport, and I love that offense this week.
Yep, I would agree. I mean, anyone on that team, Diggs, Thielen, they're all in play. Kyle Rudolph's in play. Almost everyone on that offense, I would consider you could play in cash games. Keenum, I don't know if I would play him, but everyone else definitely in play on the Vikings side of the ball for me.
Yeah, Diggs on Slay is going to – oh, shout out to my boy Corey who's in the chat as well. Thanks for joining, bro. But, yeah, I think Slay covering Diggs is going to scare me off Diggs just a little bit, but that's going to put me that much higher on Thielen because I think a lot of the targets are just going to funnel his way. And I do think that this is a really, really good game for fantasy purposes. I think that I agree with Joe. I think Dalvin Cook will finish in the top 5. I'm going to be more bold with it and say he finishes in the top 3 for running backs this week. I'm very high on Dalvin Cook. Very high on Thielen. A little off Diggs. I see the love for Keenum, but probably not where I'm going to go. Just a lot of quarterbacks down in that range. I guess moving to the other side of the ball, I think that Golden Tate makes an excellent play. It looks like Kenny Golladay is going to be out. So Golden Tate's just going to be a target machine this week, especially on a site like DraftKings where, if he sees 10 catches, that's 10 extra points because it's a PPR site. So Golden Tate's an excellent GPP play. I don't think anybody will be on. As far as that pretty much covers me for this game.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the one other player I want to point out, I think Eric Ebron's a bit underpriced at 5,300. He only had 2 catches last week, but he did have 7 targets. With Kenny Golladay out there, will be some extra targets coming his way, and he's still going to be a good part of that offense in the red zone.
Yeah,
true red zone back. So I do think Eric Ebron's a bit underpriced at 5,300 on FanDuel.
Okay. And also one guy I forgot to mention, my criminal ownership, one of the plays of the day for 4,500 on FanDuel, haven't even looked at his price on DraftKings, is TJ Jones, wide receiver for the Lions. I think with Golladay out, he's going to see a chance to step up. You will get him at less than 0.2% owned. So I mean, he's worth a shot. He saw 3 targets last week for 3 catches and 63 yards. If one of those gets in the end zone, he pays off 5x salary easily. So, worth a fly in my opinion.
I like it.
Criminal ownership.
Very criminal. That's going to be like
Very
backyard, back alley type criminal. So shout out Johnny on the criminal ownership over there.
The next game after that, we have definitely some plays coming from this game. Atlanta favored at 8.5 at home over the Buffalo Bills.
What's the over-under this game?
The over-under? I can pull that up. Let's see here.
This game, I'm tinkering with my tournament lineup right now. I guess I'll kick us off.
Over-under.
The more I look at it, the more I like Tyrod Taylor in a tournament. I believe Vic Beasley's out again, so that takes away a really good linebacker with great pass rush ability. Have a healthy LaShawn McCoy, which helps take some attention off of Tyrod Taylor. Atlanta struggles against the pass. Desmond Trufant is really the only they have. So while he'll take out their number one wide receiver, I think that opens up a lot of room for Charles Clay, for Tyrod in the red zone as well. And I think Tyrod has the ability to score a rushing touchdown here. If he doesn't, he'll pass to LaShawn McCoy 6-7 times out of the backfield, and he can create in space too to get some yards for Tyrod. The more I look at it, I really like the Buffalo offense in this game, which I expect to have a high over-under once we get it.
Yeah, man. I'm in love with this game as well. I really, really like the running backs from this game. LaShawn McCoy is going to be the top scoring fantasy running back this week. Book it. Lock him up in your cash game lineups. I just think he's very matchup proof here. Like, if they go up, they're going to run the ball into the ground with him. And no, their offensive line is not something to brag about. We know this. But Atlanta is a team that they are awful against running backs that can catch the football. And LaShawn McCoy can do that. And if they're down, they're going to be passing it to LaShawn McCoy. So really, in both scenarios, he's going to be fine. He's going to get his workload. Big on LaShawn McCoy. Love the leverage play of Devontae Freeman around the same price. I think you're going to get him at a lot lower ownership. He has the upside to go bonkers here. He has 25 carry upside, and I expect Atlanta to go up early in this game. I expect Matt Ryan to sling it early, and I think you'll see a lot of Devontae Freeman in that second half.
Yeah, and I have a criminal ownership in this game. I really like Tevin Coleman at his price for 5,400. I'd say he's going to be less than probably 5% owned, maybe lower than that.
Right, yeah.
He's 5,400 for a running back that is getting the pass, in the passing game, especially the Falcons passing game. And plus, Julio hasn't scored this year. I love Julio, but I think he's going to score this week. I hope for fourth week, get him on the board with a touchdown. But Tevin Coleman for that price in a GPP, he'll have some criminal ownership for sure.
I like that. I like that a lot.
I like it. Now, yeah, for sure.
Do you see a cheat? Like, we're looking at talking cash plays. What do you think of Mohamed Sanu? Because to me, he's demonstrated some extreme consistency this year. With all the defensive attention on Julio, I think he's a great wide receiver 3 if you're looking to save some money.
He's cheap. I wouldn't want to. If I'm playing Julio, I'm not going to play him though.
Okay. Yeah, true.
If I'm going to the pass game in Atlanta, I might go with a guy like Taylor Gabriel with more kind of boomer bust appeal. But yeah, I don't hate Sanu. I think that he's a guy that could get you your 3x, your 4x. So definitely could go there if you need to.
I like it. Okay.
Sweet. Let's see. Anything else from this game before we move to the next one?
That I can think of.
No. I guess going back to kicker, really like the Falcons kicker here. I think they put up a lot of points, so he might be like 4.9 on FanDuel. So if you can afford him, he's in a great spot.
Matt Ryan. I like Matt Ryan.
Yeah, Matt Ryan as well.
For that pair. That's always a good pair. Ryan, Julio. If you want to go GPP, all three, Ryan, Julio, Coleman, Ryan, Julio, Freeman. They can put up 30-plus points any game, so that's always a possibility. But other than that, we can move on. We have the next game coming in here. Pittsburgh, favored at 2.5 against the Ravens. It's in Baltimore. I'm not really that much in love with this game. I do like Le'Veon Bell. He's still, he doesn't look like himself, that's for sure. We have Le'Veon coming in cheaper. I think, what is he, 8,500 this week? 8,600?
Yeah, he's
8,600 on FanDuel. He's only averaged 12 FanDuel points per game, which is, not a lot. But, he has the possibility of going off anyone really in this offense. Against the, Baltimore, they've had some, struggles going against Baltimore in the past. But Le'Veon Bell, getting him at sub 10% ownership is, I would almost consider that criminal ownership. Le'Veon Bell for being a good running back. That's my ownership.
Yeah, Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown will probably be around 5% owned. Maybe Antonio more like 3 or 4, I would say. But for me, I'll just make it pretty quick with this game. It's pretty much a write-off for me. These games are just always nitty-gritty, low scoring, just kind of, bare bone games. So I'll probably just stay away from this game. I guess, as a leverage play, you could go one of these defenses. Although, both of them definitely have their questions. I think Ravens D looks a lot better through the first 3 weeks. Obviously, we can't knock what happened in London last week. Blake Bortles threw all over this defense. So, I mean, seeing Mercedes Lewis catch 3 touchdowns definitely has me intrigued a little bit with Jesse James, but probably something I'm not looking to go towards. So probably just a write-off for me.
Yeah. You guys basically summed up my thoughts on this game. I mean, every week I'll say the same thing. I think, Jimmy Smith will be on Antonio Brown, he's a very good corner, which makes it more enticing to me. I think Martavis Bryant is a great tournament play every week. If aside from the top 5 wide receivers in the NFL, he might have more big play upside than any wide receiver in the league. I think with Jimmy Smith on Antonio Brown, that does free up a little space for Martavis, but I would restrict your Martavis tournament formats only.
And I remember seeing this somewhere. Last week Chicago ran all over the Steelers. They looked like trash.
Yeah.
And that kind of rejuvenated Jordan Howard, at least for that week. He didn't look that good this week, but Buck Allen, he can possibly do a little repeat of Jordan Howard and Tariq Cohen. So I think he's in play as well. If their defense is just still not up to par, so that's always he's in play. I would say GBP is gonna be pretty low, really low, and so that's definitely a GBP play for me.
Definitely.
I think that's it for this game.
Okay.
Next game we have Dallas at home, favored at 8.5 over the LA Rams.
Okay. I personally think this game is going to – I'm pretty sure the over-under was somewhere around 44, which is a little higher than I thought it would be. I think this will be a ground-and-pound game. I think we're going to see both Zeke and Todd Gurley be the focal points this game. 49?
Cowboys 49. 47.5, Rams 21.5.
That's high to me. That's really high. I can just see this game being Todd Gurley versus Ezekiel Elliott. I know Clutch said he loves LaShawn. Zeke is my number 1 running back this week. The Rams have gotten destroyed on the ground this year. We saw what Carlos Hyde did last week. And Zeke has gotten his rhythm back after that poor performance against Denver week 2. I see a huge game coming from him. I think he's an animal this week.
I agree. That's Zeke is going to be super high owned, regardless. I can honestly, I do love Zeke this week. If you need that 300 to save, I don't mind going at LaShawn McCoy, but Zeke is going to be a pretty big cash game lock for most people. We're looking at Gurley. He's been playing phenomenal. He's in play for me as well. Along with, I do like Dak Prescott a little bit this week, just for the fact that he is mobile. He can throw to Elliott, who then can score touchdowns. They have a lot of weapons in this offense. So Dak at a lower owned, I believe a little bit lower owned than the top quarterbacks. He's definitely in play this week as well.
Yeah, both of these running backs are definitely going to be highly owned. I feel I'm a little underexposed. I have actually no shares of Zeke. I'm going to make sure I get some shares of Gurley, definitely, just because he's been playing so well. He's been getting involved in the passing game. I do think both running backs are in great plays in all formats. I feel a little underexposed, but I'm kind of all in on LaShawn McCoy this week, so I'm going to leave it at that. But as far as the passing game goes, I'm really liking this game a lot. Jared Goff is a very interesting play. This Dallas secondary is just getting shredded out there. You compare him with a guy like Sammy Watkins and get very, very low ownership, so that's a very interesting GPP play. And then another leverage play that you can kind of bring the ball back is Dez Bryant. Like these guys said, Zeke is going to be so high owned. Dez Bryant is going to be less than 8% owned. He hasn't shown, his true upside yet this season. He's had some really bad matchups, some really tough ones. So I'm really interested to see him at home today with Dak. I think that he definitely has the upside for 2 touchdowns and 100 yards. So really, really liking Dez Bryant today in GPPs.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I do like that play. I'm working on a GPP right now and actually put Dez Bryant in. So I like that. You guys have anything else on this game?
I guess I'll say I think that Zeke was going to be higher on earlier in the week. I see a lot of people on LaShawn McCoy now, so I don't know how highly owned Zeke will be. It'll be interesting to see. I think he's still obviously going to be top 3 running backs, like high ownership, but maybe not as high as we might think. So,
I can see Jared Goff being a little sneaky play. They're going to be – the Rams are going to be, focused on, just stopping – the Cowboys are going to be focused on stopping the Rams' run. Gurley's going to be – after C.J. Anderson, ran, what he did, Gurley's going to be – they're going to try to stop Gurley. That's, Gurley's their weapon for the next however many years he plays, 15 years. So Jared Goff's going to have some, time to throw. But Sammy Watkins.
And another thing to note is just how good Jared Goff has looked this season under pressure. He's one of the top-rated quarterbacks when the pocket collapses and he's under pressure. So, as good as this Rams line has looked, even if they do get to him and get pressured, I think that Goff is in line for a big day out here.
Yeah, I like that. I do. He's just, you mentioned it, especially under pressure. He's just shown – he's kind of started to show why he was the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
He's shown a ton of poise, and they're actually starting to surround him with some weapons. They bolstered the offensive line, which has helped a lot. And Dallas's defensive line as one that's as scary as the defense could be against someone. I think this is a good spot to target him in a tournament.
I agree. But that's about it for that game for me.
Yeah, we covered it pretty good.
Anything else?
I have nothing else in this game.
Okay, perfect. So the next game after that is Jets at home. They are, underdogs. Jacksonville's favored by 3.5 against the Jets, and the Jets are at home. I'll start this off. I like the Jags. They played really good last week against the Ravens. Their defense is probably going to be one of the higher owned this week. You got Leonard Fournette, who is playing really good. He's getting 22 touches a game. We're playing against the Jets defense. He should be able to, just run right through him. He's going to be higher owned. He'll be one of the higher owned running backs. And there's no way Bortles is throwing for another 4 touchdowns. So, Fournette definitely has, upside in this game. Other than that, I don't really like anything else in this game. So, I'll pass it on.
I think Jacksonville defense is an easy play. I don't think anyone saw what happened in London last week. I'm not going to say Jacksonville looks legit this year because their offense is still a mess, but their defense is a top 5 defense in the NFL. I'm saying that right now.
Looks like we lost Nova, but
Nova here. Let me get it back in here. I see no reason why Jacksonville doesn't put at least 15 fantasy points up today.
Yeah, no, I like that a lot. I actually like both defenses from this game. I think it's going to be pretty ugly.
You like the Jets defense?
I do like the Jets defense. I think you're going to get them, super cheap, super low owned. One of my favorite GPP defenses this weekend. Blake Bortles is not good. This Jacksonville offense is going to struggle, and regression is going to come. I like Jets defense today. I guess another thing to note is that tight ends Eric Tomlinson and Jordan Leggett are both out and inactive for the Jets. So that leaves a lot of space for Safari and Jenkins to step up. He got 6 targets last week coming off that 2-game suspension. So definitely could go there if you need to. It looks like a lot of balls will be funneling his way. Other than that, I don't really like any of the offensive pieces from this game. I'm not as high on Fournette as everyone else is. I think that his price is getting a little up there for me. So
Okay.
I'd rather play Dalvin Cook at $200 cheaper. So I'll probably push
I
the
agree
fade
with
button.
that. I think him over Fournette is a smart move. You got anything on this game, Nova?
No, I was on Safarian Jenkins a lot. Now that I've been looking at it and kind of doing, the lineups, I've come to notice, if I have 4,800 left, I'll play him. But, I don't mind going down to, Griffin for 4,500 or, somewhere around that price, depending on where I need to save money. But I'm definitely not paying up on tight ends this week. So, Jenkins I do like just because he should see, the targets that will get him the value. But if I'm at 4,700, I'm not going to try and drop down somewhere just to fit him in. So I'm not as high as I was on him before just because I'm seeing how the lineups are being built this week. So, other than Fournette, Jags D, and, Jenkins, if we can fit him in, that's about it for me.
Okay. I like that. All right. So that's pretty much all we got for this game, I think.
Yep. So the next game is the Patriots, favorited as usual by 8.5 at home against the Carolina Panthers.
I guess I'll
kick us off, Clutch.
Yeah, I'll kick us off just because I'm really, 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 really in love with the spot for Brady. He's so priced highly that I think that you're going to get him low owned once again. Carolina plays that zone defense, so I think that Brandon Cooks is in line for a big day. I think that you can play Brady with two of these weapons as well. Like if you want to go Brady, Cooks, Gronk, go crazy with it. You can do that. If you want to do Brady, Hogan, Gronk, you can do that as well. Gronk's another guy that isn't going to be able to fit into a lot of the cash game lineup, so I think he's going to be lower owned. Definitely looking to pair Brady and Gronk in my GPPs.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Cooks is a play in all formats. I love, love, love this spot for him here. I'm going to go out on a limb and say he scores 5 more fantasy points at least than AJ Green. I love this spot for Cooks. I'm seeing 2 touchdowns.
I mean, it's very I do see it. So then, if you love Cooks, what do you think about Hogan and Amendola?
So Hogan is a guy that I could see rostering in maybe a GPP or something, but probably not looking to go in that area. If I'm going to go with another offensive weapon there, it's going to be Gronk just because of the low ownership. I think that Cooks gives you just so much upside. And I guess you could play Hogan in GPP, but Amendola probably stay away from him.
Okay.
But another thing that I'll lead you guys into is I see a lot of people are very high on McCaffrey this week. Personally, not for me, so I don't know what your guys' thoughts on that is.
I have no interest in Christian McCaffrey. I have no interest in any piece of this offense at all. Mess. I think the offensive. I mean, ask Cam Newton. Like, look, this man gets hit 7-8 times a game. That's not good for a running back. Jonathan Stewart is still heavily involved too. And Kelvin Benjamin's back and healthy, surprisingly. So I think I just don't see it being a game that McCaffrey will succeed in.
Yeah, I mean I'm a Patriots fan, so I'm kind of biased. So I can't pick anyone against the Patriots. But on an unbiased side, I mean the Patriots know that their run defense has been looking like shit all year. Belichick will, I guarantee you he's been trying to fix that. They've been working on shit to contain the running backs. Mm-hmm. And especially, running backs like McCaffrey, they're not going to let a rookie – I can't see them letting a rookie, do what he did last week on them. So, he's 100% out of play for me as well.
Yeah, I guess my spot on him is that, FanDuel, full fade. Just because he's a back that can catch football. So, he's definitely going to have a little bit more appeal on DraftKings. I probably won't have any exposure over there either, but he makes more sense over there, I'll say. This spot does bode well for him. I mean, New England is not great against running backs. So I guess, I could see it. They'll be behind this game, so they'll be looking to, throw some screens to him, get the ball moving. I don't know. I just don't see it with McCaffrey. I'm on the full fade with him. I think he's overrated.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, his time will come. I just don't think it's anytime soon. I was very high on him in preseason, and I am kind of feeling the burn from some people on that. But
yeah, it's like a Crowell situation. I think we were all high.
I mean, a lot of things that aren't in his control need to change for him to succeed. And a lot of it has to do with the offensive line, the quarterback play, because a back like him will not succeed when Cam Newton's playing like this. So I think until Cam Newton rights his ship, the Carolina offense in general.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, agreed with that.
All
Yeah,
right,
that covers it for me. Love the Patriots, but
Always love the Patriots.
nothing else.
Okay, the next game we got going is the Chargers at home against the Eagles. The line is like 0.5, so it's essentially a straight pick'em game. Go. I'll take a few shots at this. I like a bunch of people in this game. Zach Ertz, I feel like he's going to be pretty high owned for a tight end just because he's always getting the targets every week. He gets a ton of targets. I like Keenan Allen. He's getting I think he's 5th right now in targets, and I think he's going to be a really good option this week. I think he'll be a little bit lower owned than the top owned wideouts. You'll get him probably around 15-20%. Maybe a little bit less than that, but I do think he gets 15 points this week, 20 points this week, somewhere around there. So I think he's definitely in play. I was honestly just looking at my lineup on the side screen, and I've just had put him in there right now when we were just going over the last game. Alshon Jeffrey's definitely in play. He has a bunch of targets this year. This game, they got a pretty good over-under in total. They're both around 24-ish. So that's 3 touchdowns that need to be, in someone's hands, and Alshon definitely has a good chance of getting those. Melvin Gordon, just because it's Melvin Gordon and he gets, a bunch of goal line carries, I say he's in play, but in GPP, just because of all the other running backs that are in good spots this week. I also like, as a GPP play, LeGarrette, who, I don't really see Smallwood doing that much this week. They say he's going to be more the non-passing downs. So, I mean, you've seen what Blunt can do. Last year with the Patriots, he had the most touchdowns in the league. So, he's a truck. He just runs people over. So I think, he has a good opportunity to score. So I have him in a GPP spot as well. But other than that, you guys can finish that off. I'm not sure if I missed anything, but those are the players that I have this week.
The one play that I don't really know why he's sticking out to me like he is a tournament play, but I really don't mind Travis Benjamin. Strictly deep, large field GPPs. He got more involved last week, and with a wideout, like, speed is huge, and he is blindingly fast. It's a burnable Eagles secondary. I think if he gets away with one, he could score. But that's really the one player in Los Angeles besides Keenan Allen that I have any appeal to in any format. But limited exposure to large field GPPs.
Yeah, I'm kind of off Melvin Gordon this week. He's looks to be a little banged up. Definitely interested to see how this Eagles, running back committee is going to work. I picked up Smallwood in my season long, so definitely hoping that pick pans out. We'll see. Mm-hmm. I think from a DFS standpoint, I'm going to play the waiting game on it. I'm just more risk adverse when it comes to that. The one play that really stands out to me in this game a lot is Alshon Jeffrey. He has almost 6 inches on these cornerbacks, and he has seen 28 targets this year, which is definitely top 10 in the league. So I think a lot of balls are just going to funnel his way by choice. They're going to have to throw the ball to him. So really like Jeffrey in this spot. I see a lot of people on Keenan. I don't know how I feel about that. Eagles secondary is definitely, middle of the road. It's not something that's very special, but I don't know. I don't see myself having too much Keenan exposure. And then for me, Ertz price is just kind of out of my range that I want to pay for him. Like, yeah, I get it for the first 2 or 3 weeks, but his price is just kind of he's been priced up towards that Kelsey range. So
yeah,
probably going to push the fade button there. And if I am choosing to pay up, you guys heard my take on Gronk, and I'm in love with that play. So if I'm looking to pay up at tight end, that's probably where I'll go. So Alshon Jeffrey is a play in all formats for me to have some exposure to him.
Okay, I like it. For me, those are really the only plays I've looked at in this game. What about what's his name? Is it Jake Elliott, the kicker, the hero?
Yeah, the GOAT. Definitely could play him.
Hear what Carson Wentz did?
He gave him his game check, didn't he?
Yeah, he said, if you make this field goal, I will give you my game check. The 22-year-old bangs home a 61-yard field goal for the game check.
Wasn't it like $108,000 too?
Yeah,
it was a lot.
Like, this dude just came up. He's our age,
So,
like nuts.
He's a baller.
Yeah, so he definitely balled out. I don't know. Maybe he could still be hungover from this past week.
Point.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if he's going to come out here and do it again, but yeah, obviously he's got a goat leg. So
what's the next game? Is it? What's the next game, Nova? Is it San Francisco?
The next game I have is it is Arizona at home, favored at 7.5 over San Francisco 49ers.
Okay. The more I look at it, I kind of like Carson Palmer in a tournament. What do you guys think of that play?
Yeah, Carson Palmer has been looking better recently. Obviously, San Francisco's defense isn't good at all, so I see the appeal.
That's really but I mean, I think we can all.
Are you gonna? Would you plan on pairing him with Fitz? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah. I think
I like it.
We can all agree that Larry Fitzgerald is an absolute lock in cash games as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have him, but he's definitely going to be highly owned. Definitely going to see the target. So
he's just
good play.
It is not that much to like in this game. I mean, Carlos Hyde looks super good. I don't know. I don't even know if he's playing. I haven't even checked yet. They said he was.
He should. They said he should.
He should play.
Let me take a look.
He should play. He's 80% snaps. He's played 80% of the snaps, and he's handled 75% of the rushes. I mean, you can't get much better usage-wise than that. You're playing against a stout Cardinals defense. He's getting the option, the opportunity to get receptions as well. So he's in play GPP. 19 total is not, something you really want to target, but he could definitely score a touchdown. And I believe he's not too expensive.
He's pretty cheap.
6,800. I mean, I'd rather pay probably Carson for that price. He is expected to play. But yeah, he tore up the Rams last week, which is why I like Elliott a lot.
I like Hyde quite a bit. If he goes, if he doesn't go, Breda, however you say it, definitely becomes intriguing. He's super, super cheap. He would have to see a lot of workload, so you got to love that play. Fitz is the guy in cash, in this game. A GPP flyer I'm looking at that you can get for criminal ownership is Marquise Goodwin. He's kind of that, boomer bust play. He could get that 60-yard touchdown. That's what you're looking for from a play like this.
Yeah.
So I really like that play a lot in my GPPs. I've got him because I see that Pierre Garçon's probably going to get shadowed by Peterson. So I think a lot of targets could funnel to Goodwin, and he might break loose. So definitely like that. Other than that, probably nothing for me here.
Yeah, nothing for me.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, we'll go to the next one. The next one we have Tampa Bay at home. They are favorited by 3.5 over the New York Giants, where we got Odell.
Okay.
I'll let you guys talk about Odell.
Us three were probably on this hangout an hour before, and I think one player we talked about more than any other player is Eli Manning.
Yep.
His price on FanDuel, he is definitely cash viable. He's one of my favorite options this week, especially considering Quan Alexander and a lot of other players in the Tampa secondary are not expected to play. Who was it? Was it Case Keenum last week that just destroyed them?
Who was it?
I love Eli Manning in cash this week.
So do I.
He's going to be low owned, so obviously he can be a GPP play as well. But this guy threw the ball 47 times last week, 47 times. And this is a team that just has no running game, so they're forced to throw the ball. I love Eli Manning in this spot. I love Odell. I think Odell is the top scoring wide receiver today. I don't even think it's close. I think you just have to lock him in. And Eli at that price, $7K, man, give me all the Eli. I'm taking it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
He's thrown so far this year in 3 games against Dallas, he threw 38 times. Detroit, he's thrown 32 times, and Philly 47. So he's averaging close to probably about around 38, 40 a game.
And I mean, and we mentioned it before the show too. Orleans Darkwa's still hurt, so there's their one competent running back who's still rushing only 5 times a game is out, or at least hurt. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot to like in Eli here, and I think obviously pairing him with Odell is important. I also like Evan Ingram for 5,200. He's gotten 6 to 7 targets consistently. He's huge. He's athletic. He's a great red zone threat for Eli. So I really think. He's a good target. Eli has so much to work with in that offense. It's really just the offensive line that's holding him back. Because when you have Sterling Shepard as your wide receiver 3, you're in a good spot. So, yeah. I mean,
he's got weapons.
Yeah, I'm all aboard the Eli train with you, Clutch.
I'll be there.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it, man.
FanCave
love Ingram.
Is on.
Love Ingram. One guy that I do want to mention from the Tampa Bay side of the ball. So Mike Evans is going to be locked up on Janoris Jenkins. He's a really good cornerback. So I don't really want any part of that, but this is going to bode very well for Deshaun Jackson. I love the idea of bringing it back with Deshaun Jackson. I think he's going to see a lot of Eli Apple. I think he can expose this matchup tremendously. He's got a great upside. So another criminal ownership play I'm looking at is Deshaun Jackson.
Deshaun Jackson is my criminal ownership play.
So criminal, but
love the play.
Yeah. Deshaun, yeah, I'm all in.
Love it.
Love Deshaun. I will say though, maybe not in cash, maybe more a GPP.
No, he's your. I think he's kind of he reminds me of Martavis Bryant, but his floor is a lot more stable. He has some of the best big play upside in the league. He is the epitome of a GPP play in NFL. That's the way I view him.
Yeah, he really is.
I'm seeing Jenkins isn't that good in the chat. I don't know about that, man. I think he's pretty good. I think Eli Apple is the cornerback to expose on this team, and I think Deshaun sees a lot of them today. So probably going to fade Mike Evans everywhere for me.
Yeah, I'm not playing Evans at all.
All right. Yeah, that covers it for me. I mean, I think we're all aboard the Eli train, so hopefully some of you guys will hop on it with us, and hopefully it will work out. Odell is obviously a great play. He's my top wide receiver of the day. So go ahead and lock him up in all formats as well. Eli Odell combo all day for me. So
that's a good combo. I mean, even if Eli only gets, say, 2 touchdowns and 250 yards, we're looking at 2 touchdowns, 250. That's around like 17 points. Yeah. 17 at 7K. And if the 2 touchdowns shouldn't be hard to get.
Yeah, and you got to think one of them's got to go to Odell, right? Like,
at least I think, and I think Odell is still fired up after last week. He just got fined $12K for that Trump celebration. I think,
and he looks great. Like, this injury is not holding him back at all. Odell is back. Like, he looks so good. So
and they can't double cover him like they used to because of Brandon Marshall and Sterling Shepard. So
exactly. Love it, dude.
I think you guys think we should take some Q&A now, just as a quick break.
Yeah, sure. We can.
All right, pull up Twitter. I'll be right back. I quickly. Here, I'm gonna get some water. I'll be right back. But pull up the Twitter and we'll get some Q&A going.
Okay. Yeah, I got a bunch of questions throughout Twitter. Who is in absolute lock for you, Clutch? We'll go with that.
Yeah, I guess I'll just stick right here in that game and just say Odell. I'm pretty much locking him up everywhere. I just don't see – I see his floor is so high today. I know his price is high, but the ball is just going to have to be forced his way today. And I think he gets in the end zone at least once, if not twice, and he'll put up 100 yards.
I like it. Someone else asked, thoughts on using the Jets D at all today? We discussed it a little bit. They are in play. They're in play. That'll be a GPP for me. Unless you absolutely need to save money in cash, I don't know how you would go about that. But I don't really like them in cash, but I will play them in GPP.
Yeah, I mentioned that they are a good play, but guys like Bengals are not going to break the bank. They're only 4,600, and they're in just so much better of a spot. So I think just paying that extra, whatever it is, $400, $500, just pay it. I mean, If you really need the salary,
that's
maybe.
cheap. Usually teams against the Browns too, they usually, inflate their price that week. So that's pretty cheap for them. So,
Exactly.
Let's see. What other questions did you have? I'm trying to find more that I had on here.
See what they got in the chat. I see Russell Wilson or Eli. So yeah, that's one of the debates I was having with myself a little earlier. Was did I want to go Russell Wilson with Chris Carson, or did I want to go Eli with Dalvin Cook? I ended up going Eli with Dalvin Cook. I love Russell Wilson tonight, guys. I think he's a fantastic play. He'll be high owned. Colts are awful. He has the upside to rush in there as well. So love Russell, love Eli. It's just a matter of how your construction is going to work.
Yes, and then someone just said, you kind of just covered it. Why on Eli? Keenum had a run game last week. Eli doesn't. We've already talked about it. Eli to Odell. We think Odell's going to go off. So if Odell's going off and he's our lock, then, pairing with Eli is just pretty common sense at that point.
Yeah.
Next, what about Cards defense?
Cards defense? Yeah, I like that a lot. San Francisco's offense is not anything special. Good little leverage play from the Bengals. I think they're the same price. Probably going to just stick Bengals and everything. I usually am not very risk adverse with my defense. I like to just kind of pick one and stick with it in all formats. And then I saw a question saying Lions defense. No, that's a big no for me. I am in love with the Vikings today. I think that they light them up. So, yes, Lions defense has looked fantastic this year, but I think this is the week that they get fully exposed.
Yeah. Let's see. Pairing Paul Richardson with Russell Westbrook. That's not a bad – he'll be a little bit lower owned. He's cheap.
What you said? You said Russell Westbrook?
Pairing Paul Richardson with Russell Westbrook?
Russell Wilson.
Russell Westbrook. Oh, my God, Russell Wilson.
If you could play Russell Westbrook on this slate, I would probably play him. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, yeah. He'd be a lock for 200 rushing yards.
But, yeah, no, in all serious aside, my favorite play from that game is Chris Carson. And we'll get into that game here in a little bit. So I don't want to talk about it too much. But, yeah, that's the primetime game that we'll talk about.
I think that's all the questions I have on Twitter. Let's check in the chat real quick one more time.
I see Ingram or Griffin in GPP. I think Ingram for GPP just because I feel like he has more red zone upside, more touchdown upside. I think Griffin's kind of got that floor just because targets are going to go his way. So I'd say Ingram and GPP for me.
Okay, so here's the question. This is a season-long question from Miracle Rick on Twitter. It says, in standard leagues, what flex play would you pick? Brandon Marshall, James White, Jared Cook, Jason Witten, or Smallwood? He said he's leaning White.
Brandon Marshall, James White,
Jared Cook, Witten, or Smallwood?
Oof. I would go Witten or Brandon Marshall. I think that, me loving Eli today, I think.
Are we talking PPR?
Standard.
It said standard.
Standard?
James White. Standard, I think I'm leaning Smallwood, honestly. I don't mind the James White play at all.
Shit, that's a good question.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, Carolina's run D is pretty good. Witten's going to see a lot of targets, as he always does. I don't know. I think Brandon Marshall is the play there for me.
Yeah, I would have to go Brandon Marshall as well. Hopefully,
I'm fine with Brandon Marshall.
Hopefully Odell doesn't take all those tutties, which – for your sake, for my sake, yes, I hope he does take all the touchdowns.
Let's take one more question. I see Alex Collins from the Ravens, super GPP flyer. He's looked good, but that's just a game that I'm not really looking to touch. I see him maybe getting more work down the line just because he has looked like the most talented running back. But for me, no, just because the volume's just simply not there for him. So maybe he'll see 7-8 carries, but I think down the line
you might as well you might as well put all the shitty, cheap running backs on a dartboard and just throw a dart and pick one at that point.
I mean, for me, the top cheap running back, under Mixon. Obviously, Mixon's great, but I would go Matt Breida or Breida, however you say it, for San Francisco. I think if Carlos Hyde is banged up, even if he plays, I think he'll be a little bit limited. So I think Breda will see a little bit of work. If Hyde's inactive, then Breda could be a play in all formats, honestly. I think he's only 5K. So.
Yeah, no, definitely.
That's where I'm at.
Okay, so I think that's all the questions I had. Do you guys have any? Okay.
Yeah, I guess we can finish off the rest of the games and then go back, see if we can answer some more questions.
We'll finish the games. We'll make a couple lineups, and then we will, if there are any, questions, might as well answer those while we're at it. The next game that we have going would be the Denver Broncos 2.5-point favorites over the Oakland Raiders. Denver is at home.
Denver Broncos 2.5. Okay, so this game really isn't all that appealing to me. Typically, on any given week, the Raiders' offense would usually be one of the top offenses, but this week they do face Denver, and Michael Crabtree is unexpected to play. I just don't see much potential here. I think Amari Cooper will be locked down. Maybe a couple extra looks for someone like Jared Cook. We've seen that they're going to be conservative with Marshawn Lynch's workload, and I don't think Denver's a matchup to exploit that with. Derek Carr also, he last week lost me so much fucking money.
Yeah, he was some shit.
He played awful against the Redskins, and I don't see it getting any better this week.
Yeah, it definitely won't. Derek Carr has looked absolutely terrible when when the pocket collapses, and that's something that this Broncos defense does very well. Just not looking to pick on this Broncos defense at all. I think as a leverage play, you can play the Broncos defense because Carr has looked so bad. I think that, he could be in line to throw a pick six. I think the Broncos defense is a tremendous play if you can fit them.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
For me, it's a full fade on the Oakland side of the ball. I think an interesting play is C.J. Anderson. I think a lot of people are going to be scared off from last week. Jamal Charles got in the end zone. The matchup couldn't be better for him. He's 6.9. Definitely an interesting GPP play for me is C.J. Anderson.
Yeah.
I think his ownership will be very low as well.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely will.
What about you, Nova?
So, as far as it goes there, you guess you could go Sanders or Thomas, but
that's what I was about to.
I don't know.
I like Emmanuel Sanders and I like Demaryius Thomas. Sanders has had, he's been playing really well, and Simeon's been, favoring him. They both have similar amount of targets, 29 to 25. Sanders has 4 more. They're in play for me. I can see them both, reaching value or more. They only need, what are they? I think they're 6.9. So about 7, 2 times value be 14, 13 because they're 6.9. They're definitely in play. That's not even that good.
So answer this then. Since it's a 4 p.m. game, a lot of people are going to be looking to this offense in general because of the matchup. Which one do you like better, Demaryius Thomas or Emmanuel Sanders?
I think I like Demaryius better this week. Just because of the fact I feel like Emmanuel Sanders will be a little bit higher owned, and I kind of like to play it just a little bit risky. I think, Demaryius, just because he's a little less owned, he's been the guy for a while there. He's been good his whole career, and only 4 less targets than Emmanuel Sanders. Emmanuel had 3 touchdowns the other day or something like that. So that's where he got all his targets that game. So I really like Demaryius in this game, just because he'll be a little bit lower owned, and I think he does outproduce Sanders and gets on the board with a touchdown this week.
I like it.
Yeah, no, I like them both quite a bit. I guess the note to take here is that Emmanuel Sanders has kind of been the guy that they look to in the red zone a little bit more. So I think that his floor might be a little bit higher just because of his touchdown upside. But Demaryius Thomas, like you said, he's a guy that's been there forever. He looks just as good, if not better, than Emmanuel Sanders this year. Maybe the numbers don't show it, but definitely could play either one of those. I'm cool with.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay. Yeah.
That's all game.
Saints are now up 13-0. Every game in London is low scoring and ass. Other than last week, but they're just not good games.
Except for the Jags.
different than game. The game you think would be.
The Jags are London's team.
Yeah, dude, the Jags might as well just move to London.
Yeah, they're there for year.
No one would mind. Let's see. The next game we got going would be – I got to pull this window. My computer's going slow. It is the Seattle Seahawks. This is going to be a pretty, heavily used game. Seattle Seahawks favored by 13.5 at home against the Colts.
Personally, up until today, Russell Wilson was my cash quarterback. But the more and more I looked into it, he did explode last game. I expect him to play well today, but this game script kind of scares me off. If they jump out to a lead, I think they'll run a lot with Chris Carson. Doug Baldwin being less than 100% scares me a little bit. I don't mind Paul Richardson, but I think Russell Wilson, for his price tag on FanDuel, is a great cash play. But I think he's going to be highly owned, excuse me.
Yep, I agree. I like, obviously Chris Carson. He's going to be pretty high owned. CJ Prosise is not playing or is expected to miss. So if he doesn't play, I believe I read somewhere, he's 10 or 11 targets in the last, 2 games. So that's 11 targets out of the backfield that are, have the chance to go Chris Carson's way. Plus he's been getting like 5 yards a carry. He's the primary back now. So 27 against the Colts. Colts are projected to score 14.25. Yeah, that's ass. That's horrible. Especially, and if they get an early lead, they're going to be running it regardless. And I don't think, since Chris Carson's young, I think they'll keep him in the game. It's not like Marshawn Lynch when the Raiders, when they're up, they'll pull him out. I think Chris Carson stays in the game, and he has a chance to just keep running all over them.
Yeah, I feel the same way. He's actually the only player that I have any exposure to tonight. I don't see the appeal that I've seen a lot of sites touting with Jimmy Graham. For his salary, he's in the awkward kind of – he's 6'2". It's kind of an awkward range for tight ends. The production and the usage just hasn't been there this year. Paul Richardson's gotten more involved. Tyler Lockett is still involved. And then you have a pass-catching back like Chris Carson or CJ Prosise when he's healthy. I don't see their need for Jimmy Graham in a game like this.
Yeah, I guess my thoughts on this game are Chris Carson is preferred play here. He's all formats back. Going to see a lot of usage. 6.6, really like the spot for him. Colts defense is just atrocious, which leads me to Russell Wilson, which I am scared that I don't have exposure to. But what I do look forward to is the fact that Doug Baldwin has his groin a little injured. I don't know if he's going to play. I think he's questionable at the moment. So at least, if Russell Wilson doesn't have his shiny toy, it makes me like him a little bit less. So, fading him would feel a little bit better. I do think he's going to be high owned, and how much I hate like on FanDuel when it comes to prime time and you watch your lineups just dip. Because I don't have as much Chris Carson exposure as I probably should. And then I've got a criminal ownership play here as well. Just the report that was built with Brissett. I think that Jack Doyle you can get at a superbly low ownership this week. I think you can get him under 1%. This is a guy that still, caught the ball 8 times 2 weeks ago. Yes, he upset everyone last week when he was a little bit more chalky. But that's the reason why I'm ready to go back to the well with him. So, sign me up for Jack Doyle for criminal ownership under 1% in tonight's game to get some exposure.
Okay.
Yeah, that about covers it. I don't really like Russell Wilson and Chris Carson in this game if I had to choose, 2 people from that. Doug Baldwin, just because, if you're playing Russell Wilson, Doug Baldwin, if he's playing, GPP play because the amount of points that they are projected to score. But, if they get up again, like I mentioned, if they get up and, he is not playing, at a full 100%, they can just take him out and not risk injury. So, that's a risk, which is why I would make him a GPP play for myself.
Yep. I mean, I think as chalky as Wilson and Carson may be, I think you can easily get away with no primetime ownership today on the main slate just because of the spots some of the other offenses are in. New York, like Cincinnati, Arizona. I think there are offenses that are Buffalo. Like there are a lot of spots that are cash viable where you really don't need the primetime ownership. But especially on FanDuel, the thing is where people see this 8:30 start and think, oh, for cash, I need to have a late hammer.
Yeah.
So that'll drive the ownership, which is I'm with Clutch. It's scary, but if your lineup's good, it'll cash. It doesn't matter when your games are.
Yeah, I agree.
So
yeah, so that covers it for that game. I guess Chris Carson's the preferred play for all of us here.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson's obviously a great play, but without Doug Baldwin, it does scare me a little bit. So, but
we can. We want to talk about Kansas City just for Monday slates. We can do Kansas City, Washington real quick. Kansas City's favorite 6.5. We're gonna go through this game really quickly, then hop over to making a couple lineups. But we definitely want to leave some time for us to go through lineups post stream, just in case we do have to tweet it out and answer some questions after that. So let's go through this game pretty quick. Kansas City 6.5 favorites over Washington Redskins, and they are at home.
Yeah, I guess I'll start. I'll start by saying I'm not in love with anybody on the Washington side of the ball. This Chiefs defense has looked so good, and the Chiefs offense has looked so good. So Tyreek Hill, I'll start with him. Probably going to see a lot of Norman, but I think he's kind of unguardable at this point. This guy is so fast, and he has the ability to make so many good plays. Kelsey's in a great spot. Definitely my lock for the primetime slate. Washington is so susceptible to the tight end position. Kareem Hunt is a freaking I can't even describe how good he is, how much I really enjoy watching him. He's a damn animal. I don't care how good this Washington defense looked last week. I am all in on Kareem Hunt. I hope you guys have some exposure in that Thursday through Monday lineup because this dude, it's unreal. He's David Johnson of last year. So love Kareem Hunt this week.
I wish I would have drafted him in the late rounds of my season long.
Don't we all?
Yeah, he
already solidified first round next year. He solidified it.
Oh, he's literally David Johnson this year.
Yeah, like he could be top 3 next year, if not 1. Like if he continues at this pace.
I mean, it's going to be. I think top 3 will be. I mean, obviously it's only been 4 weeks, but with what I project the rest of the season to go, I think top 3, any order, it'll be him, Zeke, and Le'Veon. I think David Johnson will fall out top 3 this year.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, I guess to wrap up this game, like I would just want to say, like I really, really, really like this spot for Kelsey. Like you have to play him in primetime or Monday through Thursday. I see it, guys. I mean, Washington D is something I've watched all year, and they're so susceptible to the tight end. And Kelsey hopefully will drive a little. I mean, it sucks that he's on a 2-game slate because I would love to play him in a main slate just because he did so poorly last week. I think he'd make an excellent criminal ownership play. But yeah, I'm going right back to the well with Kelsey. Not scared at all about last week.
I like it. Okay, so I'll head over to FanDuel here. Do we want to make a quick cash lineup?
We can make a cash. We can do cash and GPP, or we can do just cash. We can do whatever anyone wants. Cash game, I think we can do. I mean, we're pretty set up, and we've all the plays for cash we've basically gone over. It's just about getting them in. So I mean, I think we should really just stick to GPP, honestly, because the cash game lineups, we've discussed all the cash game plays, and it's really just about who you can fit in and who you really want to play. So.
All right, let me pull it up quick. And yeah, what's funny is I think all 3 of our cash lineups are only a couple players off too, which is nice.
Yeah, I feel good about us all being on board the Eli train. We're gonna get him at sub 5%. So just cross your fingers and hope that they throw the ball 45 times and somebody catches it 35 times. Who knows? Like,
how do I present that?
Most I'd expected to play.
All right, well, there's my GPP lineup. So, can you guys see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, so I mean, I'm sure you guys just saw my GPP. I'm going Matt Ryan in tournaments. I think his performances this year will scare people off.
I think he'll be pretty high owned.
You think?
I think he's going to be one of the higher owned quarterbacks this week.
All right, so So let's look at quarterback for GPP. Who are your favorites? I mean, we could even go Eli in a GPP, and I think we can have a good ownership, honestly. But
I mean, I have 3 lineups, and I have obviously Eli in my main lineup, my cash lineup. In my second lineup that I'm doing, where I'm playing the second most amount of funds, I have Tom Brady, and then I have another lineup that's just really GPP super with my man Jared
Super
Goff.
GPP.
I got Goff in the super GPP spot.
okay, I don't mind Jared Goff.
Brady Goff. I like Brady. I mean, I'm down for whatever.
Let's go with Brady. Let's go with Brady because I think when a lot of people look at a GPP, they look at spending down at quarterback. Let's spend up.
Yeah,
and show people that bit of a line you can make with it.
I don't mind spending up at all. Yeah, so what's at running back? What do we have at running back?
I think we have to lock in a cheap one here, obviously.
Definitely.
I love Devontae in this spot for GPP. I think he's in both of my GPP lineups just because I think he's going to get
I like
so much
Devontae or Coleman. Coleman's super cheap too in that game. I like them both, honestly.
I think people are sleeping on Todd Gurley this week. Sean Lee is out for Dallas as well.
I mean,
I don't think people are sleeping on him, dude. I think he's going to be almost 20. That's what I think.
No, I don't think he's that high. Just because we got Fournette, Cook,
do you think
Elliott.
McCoy will be higher owned than Gurley?
Yeah.
And Zeke?
Yes.
Zeke will be higher owned too?
Yeah, because, McCoy's been talked about a shit ton in the past couple of days. So I think people are going to start getting on him. And plus, he's only a couple, 300 more. I mean, I do like Gurley. I also like Tevin Coleman just because he's super cheap. And that's my criminal ownership, 5,400.
Maybe you're right about Gurley because looking at we've got Cook, Fournette, McCoy, Elliott, Bell, like all right around him. So maybe people are sleeping on Gurley. Maybe he'll come.
And I think people will also go down to Dalvin Cook too.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm doing.
Dalvin Cook, Tevin Coleman, 2 pretty cheap running backs, nothing too expensive.
I do love Dalvin Cook's my GPP lock. So that's
he's my cash lock. So
okay.
If I can get him low, I'll take
all 4 months locked then.
Let's do Cook Coleman just for 2 cheap. We can spend up at. Okay. I do want to fit in Odell, just in that one, just because he has such a high floor, high ceiling.
Yeah, I like Odell a lot.
Let's knock out kicker and defense quick.
I say this week.
Ryan Suckup is my kicker in all formats this week. I don't know what about you guys. But.
I even say play Bengals D just because they're cheap. They're going to be higher on, but they're just so cheap.
Yeah, I'm sticking Bengals D everywhere. I think my super GPP, I went Jets, but
I don't mind. I mean, my cash line just because I had the funds, I went Jacksonville, but Cincinnati's up there too. Kicker, should we just go like suck up for cheap?
I say suck up again.
Suck up.
Kickers just like play whoever's there.
Who's the GOAT?
All right, let's get Odell in here and see what we have to work with. 64-33. I personally want to pair Tom Brady with Brandon Cooks.
I like it.
I was thinking Gronk, but Cooks works well.
Let's see how
Gronk or Cooks.
Cooks is 7'9", Gronk is 8'5".
Oh, okay. So if Gronk was we go Cooks, we have 5,700 left. If we go Gronk for 2 receivers, we have 5,400 left.
I don't know. I just don't trust 2 receivers at that low.
I agree. I think tight end's an easier position to punt.
Yeah, I agree.
Do we go Safarian Jenkins for tight end?
Who do we got left?
I would say another guy we didn't talk about is how the Giants are awful against tight end. I think Cameron Brate comes in super low. It's another guy I was definitely looking into.
I like that. So hypothetically, say we go Brate. One of my favorite GPP plays is actually Rashard Matthews. Rashard Matthews is one of my favorite tournament plays. If that's someone you guys want to consider, I'm down.
Yeah, we talked about him. I'm down with that. I like Rashard.
So
put Rashard. That leaves us with 5-4. We can go Doyle.
We got Quay. We got Ebron. We got Brate. We got Rudolph.
You have some really good. That's
a good tier right there. That's a great tier.
I like Charles Quay. Who do you guys think you can go off?
I just think his ownership's going to be so high.
Yeah, that's true.
That's tight end. So
I say Doyle or Brate, man. Or you could go Ingram. I don't know how highly owned he's going to be.
Rudolph is going to be high owned. I do like Rudolph just for the.
He's got that red zone upside for sure. Rudolph the red zone reindeer.
I
Rudolph,
like
the red
Rudolph.
zone reindeer.
Jesse
Ingram's
James,
up there too for red zone.
Mercedes Lewis caught 3 touchdowns against this defense last week, and you know how irrelevant he is. So Jesse James seems to have some upside there.
Let me see.
There's just so many people in there. Anyone.
We talked about Ebron too. So
Ebron, I like Rudolph. Jesus, I like it all.
This is the perfect range for tight ends here. There's no reason to spend up.
Nah, there's just not. I mean, that's why, that's just why you can get Gronk solo.
That's why I spend down, because there's so many at that range. I don't know who to pick.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anyone. Brate's good. I just like Rudolph just for the red zone threat. That's who I would choose, but I mean, any of them are in play. So what do you you go Doyle? You like Doyle?
I don't mind Doyle, but
I just think Rudolph, out of all those, Clay's gonna be higher owned, so I'm just knocking him out. Ingram or Rudolph, I think, does have a higher floor, but we'd have Odell, so I wouldn't want to play Ingram. I don't know. I get a Rudolph feeling this week.
I'm fine with Rudolph.
I like it. I say Rudolph and lock that in.
Clutch, you okay with this?
Yeah, my bad. I was answering in the chat. Yeah, I like Rudolph.
I like this. I like this lineup.
I like it too.
Yeah, I like it too. I say we build one more with like a cheaper quarterback to see what kind of build we can get there.
Okay, so cheaper quarterbacks. Let's look in that 7K range. Couple quarterbacks I like for GPPs. Do you guys like Tyrod this week?
You talked about Case Keenum.
That is true. Case Keenum's
cheap.
Plug him. Pair him with
Case Keenum 6, and hey, Dalvin Cook 5 to 7 passes out of the backfield.
I like it. I mean, listen, I'm playing Cook and Thielen in my cash game lineups. That's how much I like the Vikings this week.
I might go Case Keenum in a GPP, honestly. I think I might.
Go for it, man. I'm not hating on it. I definitely see the appeal.
So let's go Keenum, Cook. Should we stick with Bengals D?
Yeah.
They're just too cheap not to stick with.
You might as well stick with.
I just say stick with this. They're cheap. There's not really point of just overthinking, that position. Do we want to pay up at tight end?
I think if we go, I'm looking here. If we go like, say, Chris Carson at running back, 500 for all 3 receivers. And
yeah, I like that.
Do it.
I think
Chris Carson,
good build.
How much
here? I really want Gronk in one lineup.
Yeah,
how much does
Kevin
Coleman? It's probably like an extra 200 if we needed to. But I mean, yeah, I'm just high on Coleman for GPP, but I love Carson as well. Gronk, so it's still 7,100.
Okay, that's nice.
Let's pick a low wideout. Get a lower priced wideout.
Like Deshaun.
I'm looking.
I love Deshaun.
Lower price wideout.
You said
how
Deshaun.
low do you want to go?
Yeah, we could go super low if you really want to. We could.
I mean, I like
that criminal.
I like TJ Jones.
TJ Jones.
Yeah,
Taylor Gabriel.
How low? What?
Jones is so cheap. TJ Jones.
4,500. Look at him. Playing.
The GOAT. The GOAT.
Well,
he's the GOAT.
Nice.
I'm telling y'all. So then we can play Julio Odell.
We could play Julio and Odell. We could play Julio and Odell.
Carson. I love that.
That's good.
Damn,
I like
that looks great. Y'all go ahead and play this for real, like this. And when this wins you some money, shout us out. That lineup looks fun. You're going to see TJ Jones at 0.1, I think. I really think 0.1.
Yeah, he's going to be
really.
I think so. I mean, I haven't seen anybody on him at all. I haven't seen his name anywhere. So, I don't know. We'll see.
I like it. I just put that in a lineup.
Word, yeah. Roll it.
Do we do DraftKings this week or no?
What's up?
Yeah, we can look into DraftKings. I'm down. I went ahead and entered into the Millie Maker, so definitely a site that I looked at this week quite a bit.
All right, let's go to where's my hangout on here? Oops, what am I doing?
I think you're going to be pretty pleased with the quarterback pricing on DraftKings this week.
Will we?
I'm gonna be right back. I gotta run to the restroom real quick.
All right, cool. Let's take a quick break here. I'm looking at. I don't know who my favorite GPP quarterback is. That's what I'm struggling with right now to make my own GPP line.
Yeah, man. I just decided, anytime you're going to get Brady at around or under 10% owned, that's something that I want to take advantage of. And just the way that Carolina plays defense, I think that Brady has all the tools to just eat this defense alive. He has the upside to throw 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, I can definitely see it.
I don't know. I love Brady. Love Goff too. I think this Dallas secondary is just getting shredded, and I think it's time to face the facts. I was wrong on Jared Goff. I did not like him at all coming into this season, and he has impressed the hell out of me. He's like, even the numbers, like, they're great and all, but I think he's better than the numbers show. Like, he's so good.
I think he's too. No, I definitely think he is.
He's so good. He looks so good under pressure. He's so poised. He's not like these other young guys. He's not volatile like Kaiser and Watson are. He doesn't, panic under pressure.
He's smart.
I love Goff.
Smart quarterback. He's showing why he was the number 1 pick in the draft.
Yeah, finally. I mean, hopefully it works out for the Rams. I'm always rooting for them. Just kind of love LA in general. It's a great city. So.
Let's see here. I'm just trying to build. What about Dalton in a GPP? What do you think of that?
Dalton? I was thinking that, but I don't know, man. He's just – I don't know. Probably won't go there, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think I will either.
I'd rather just play Tyrod at the same price, honestly, just because of the rushing. But we got a question in the chat. He said – Gordon or Carson? I'm seriously considering this. I'm guessing you mean Melvin Gordon?
I would assume so, and I would go with Carson.
Yeah, I'm guessing this is season long, and I like Carson, man. I think he's, Gordon's banged up. He could see a lot less work this week, which also I didn't really talk about Brandon Oliver, but another 4 p.m. play, like if somehow Melvin Gordon's ruled out, Brandon Oliver's going to get a lot of work. He's like 5.4, so potentially a lot of value could really open up in this 4 p.m. slate. Like you could potentially have Breida and Brandon Oliver being your running back. So like you could pay up crazy at wide receiver.
Yeah. Let's see here.
But yeah, I'm all locked in, man. I've got all my 84 entries in FanDuel ready to go.
There we go. I'm just working on a term. My cash line is locked, and I'm happy with it. My tournament line is what I'm working on right now.
We got another question. Dez or Fournette? Ooh, is that standard or is that PPR? That's tough.
Standard or PPR? If you're on
the fact that you can really choose between those two. Oh my gosh! Like maybe it's DraftKings he's talking about. But if that's season long and you can pick between Dez or Fournette, you're looking to be in a good spot, regardless. So, Goff or Eli on DK Cash. Eli is only $100 more.
Eli.
You could go either, but I like Eli. I like him.
Eli.
I like Eli a lot this week.
So do I.
I think on DraftKings though, I'm just gonna. I don't really want to do this, especially because I'm playing the Millie Maker. But Deshaun Watson is only 5,100 on DraftKings, and that's a very tough fade. That's so cheap. Like he's much cheaper than Eli and
really
company. Yeah, it's very hard to fade that, and he's going to be so high owned. I mean, I guess I could go Keenum for leverage. He's 5,000.
Yeah, you could.
I'm doing it. I'm going Keenum. I told y'all I was going to fade Watson. I'm going to do it.
I just don't like. Is Keenum legit? Like, is he a viable option?
This will be the week to find out.
Option.
The Lions' defenses look great. Keenum's looked great. So let's see. But I think that Keenum is more legit than the Lions defense. So, yeah.
I would agree.
Are we making a DraftKings lineup?
All right, let's do Clutch. Can you share your screen on DraftKings? Or one of you two? Hold on. Just log in.
I do not have DraftKings up right now. I honestly haven't even looked at DraftKings yet, so this will help.
I've got it. Let's see.
Who scored? Oh, Saints are up 20-0.
Who scored?
Kamara scored.
Okay.
Yeah, I hardly play DraftKings anymore. Definitely going to be getting into it for NBA.
Oh, yeah.
Love it for NBA. Love the format over there. For NFL, I just love the format so much for FanDuel that I don't really have a reason to play much over here, but I do occasionally like to play DraftKings.
I just think, I like DraftKings. I like FanDuel scoring, and I like the interface better. But the sharks and everything on FanDuel just are so bad. Like, it's just so easy to flood entries. Like, I mean, I think DraftKings rules and stuff and regulations have really helped them a lot. But, like, you get in a 50-50 and you see 25 AC Karma lines, it's not fun.
Yeah, it was getting that way towards the end for MLB for sure.
It's just dumb.
Who's the plug on for defense on DraftKings? Just going over this quick.
Bengals are expensive, man, but I think I went Jets
For
2,600. But look how much Bengals are over here. It looks like they're priced more correctly. They're right there at the top. Cardinals are 3,200. I like that. But yeah, that's what we're looking at for defense. What do you guys think? Cardinals 3,200. Are we trying to make a cash or GPP?
We can do cash on DraftKings since the Dallas D is pretty cheap. I honestly kind of like San Francisco defense now that I'm looking at it. I mean, I know they're projected to lose, but I mean, Arizona's not projected to score that much on them. And they're 2,200, but that would be more
super cheap. I say we stick Cardinals and see what we can build from here. Let's look at quarterback. I know that Eli is pretty cheap over here. I know we stuck with him on FanDuel. We could do the same here. Also, Deshaun is just ridiculously cheap over here.
I think we gotta go Deshaun. I know I saw that earlier. Deshaun for 5,100, I believe I saw. Yeah, I just pulled it up. 5,100.
It's hard fading him over there. They've got McCoy priced right over here. Dalvin Cook is very cheap, 6,500. I think that's a lot.
Very cheap. I mean, I think we pay up for one running back. I mean, how much is McCoy over here?
84.
He's more than Elliott?
Yeah.
Ooh-wee.
So should we go Elliott?
Yeah, I like Elliott. We can go Elliott Cook.
I like that.
And
I love
wide receiver,
that.
Odell. Are we going to lock in Odell again?
We can lock in Odell if we can fit him. He's expensive.
It's very tough over here, honestly. Let's do tight end. I know we have some more towards like the 3K range.
We got
Safarian Jenkins is 3K
30.
straight up. And Ingram. We could flex one of them too.
Ebron for 3,100 is not bad. Ingram for 3K, not bad.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think we do Safarian Jenkins
a lot for that price. Okay.
Ingram.
Get that wide receiver. We got that wide receiver money now. So we've got pretty much 6,100 to work with per receiver. Larry Fitz is right here for 661, and then that leaves us 6K. And here's our options. Thielen.
Let me see.
I do like Thielen a lot. I think you made a very good point about Thielen earlier. I think he's going to be a focal point with Darius Slay on Stephon.
I think so, man. I love Thielen.
So who do we have? Watson, Elliott, Cook. Odell. Odell goat?
Yeah, Odell is.
Watson's just one I'm not sure of.
Let's
but
see.
He's viable, I guess.
I got 6,900 left in my line that I'm just making on the side just because I have 49ers defense, but they're obviously fucking sketch. Which you can put in Golden Tate, 6,300. He's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Over Larry.
I just made a line. How much did you say Jenkins was?
3K.
He's 3K. Safarian Jenkins, 3K. Okay.
But yeah, this is where I'm at with cash here. I'm very comfortable with running this.
Yeah.
So I'll go ahead and save that. I guess we can spend the next 5 to 10 minutes to go over any last minute questions. I know some of us probably want to get off and get locked up and make sure we're all good. So definitely ready.
Like 5 minutes or so. I did have a question. Let's see here. Where was it?
Why am I?
Someone just said, do you like Julio at all? We do like Julio.
I love Julio.
Yeah.
Yo, it says I'm presenting, Joe. Can you fix that?
Yeah, here, let me get that off. Everyone just wants to see your mug. There you go. All right, we should be good. All right, we're good. I like Julio. I think FanDuel, he's underpriced. I do. He's a receiver that should be in the mix at all times. But that's just me.
Let's see if I'll pull up my Twitter and see if anyone's shooting me over anything. Your long PPR league, play Melvin Gordon or Buck Allen or Blunt or Jaquiz Rogers?
That's a good question.
None of them are really pass catching backs.
Probably Melvin Gordon, I would say, even though he's banged up.
Yeah, I would have to.
Any thoughts on using Decker at all?
I don't mind it as a low end flex without Corey Davis.
If you have to.
I'm going to tweet out shoot questions this way, answering them in the stream for the next couple minutes.
Get them while they're hot.
But yeah, I mean, how you guys feeling this week? I feel good.
I like it.
Once again,
I think I'm a little worried about fading Russ Wilson, but I think the rest of my line will be fine. So
we'll be there.
Yeah,
with you.
definitely. Lack of exposure to that night game has me scared. I hope Chris Carson doesn't go AWOL. But
yeah,
other than that, I'm comfortable with fading it. I am a little scared, a little worried, but comfortable.
I just came up with another line on DraftKings just to mess around. Watson, Elliott, Mixon, Odell, Fitzgerald, Cooks, Ingram, Ebron, 49ers D.
Okay. Yeah, I got a question. Need a defense on DraftKings. So it looks like Nova's really in on 49ers. So
just for the price. Just for the price.
Very cheap over there. Cardinals, pretty cheap. If you can pay for them, Bengals are the that's the spot. So
yeah, I think we've answered all the questions coming from my side, from people we
have on my side.
Yeah, I think we're
good. They can always shoot us questions. Also, check out, if you guys want, I'm going to tweet out some things. My boy has a clothing company, Stupid Fruit. He hooked FanCave up with people who are with us with a coupon code. I'm going to go ahead and shoot that out on my Twitter. A bunch of dope clothes. So I'll shoot that out on Twitter. I will next stream. I'll wear a couple of the shirts that I have, or one of the shirts just to see. But he has a bunch of dope clothing that pretty big here in the South in Charlotte. So just trying to get that out there. Other than that, I think if you guys need anything, you know where to reach us. We're all three on Twitter. We'll be on Twitter probably throughout the day watching football. So anything season long. DFS, late slates, anything, will be here. Maybe next week, I was thinking about it, honestly. Instead of doing the main lineups for, what we're making, let's see what people want and kind of maybe we'll do a, 4 p.m. only, late slate, something like that, kind of switch it up.
Yeah, I'm down with that. That sounds good to me.
Other than that, I think we're good. I think we had a good brainstorming day.
I agree. You guys, like you said, know where to find us. There were at some points double there were last week, so it's awesome to see, and we really appreciate it. You guys have anything else to say before we go?
That is it.
Guys, I mean, keep spreading the word, keep retweeting. Let's get FanCave more on the map. Like we're really out here trying to help you guys succeed in daily fantasy. We put in a lot of time and effort, so any retweets, any shout outs, anything is definitely appreciated. So shoot us over your winning lineup tonight.
All right, guys, go make some money.
Farewell.